Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lori, Happy Picker, and it's time to do another What Sold video for you. From the weekend we have, I have 13 sales to share with you, but 3 of them were Facebook Marketplace local pickups, so I don't have to ship those today. Also, we'll talk a little bit about why you might want to consider going to a reseller event. If you're a reseller, we're just fresh back from a reseller meetup in Nashville, and I'll talk a little bit about that and show you a few highlights. Let's start off with my 4 eBay sales from the weekend. Just 4. Not great, but let's show you what they are anyway. You guys, if you've been around, you've seen me talk about picture frames. This is just a plain gold picture frame with embellished edges there. I found this at a garage sale just a couple weeks ago for $1, and I put this up for sale for $15, and then I went ahead and took an offer of $11.95 on it. Let's move it. 25 cents into $12. How many times my money is that anyway? Don't miss out on these. Kiss merchandise can be good. This we picked up, well, I say we, I mean Kyle, Grumpy Picker, found this at an outdoor flea market we stopped at. It hasn't been listed for very long, just a few weeks. We sold this for $36 and he only paid $3 for it. So, more than 10 times our money. We like those numbers. Okay, so I do not have any clothing sales to share with you this week. I've told you I'm not a clothing seller. I'm finally not a clothing seller this week, but I do have a no-low to share with you. So if you're not familiar, if you haven't been around before, no-lows are things you don't want to be on the lookout for because they took too long to sell, sold for too little money, waste of time, effort, whatever, just a fail. So this little brass rooster trivet, I picked this up at a garage sale last summer for $1. And you know, I don't run comps on every single thing I pick up because that would just take too long. You learn a little bit about what sells the longer that you've been reselling, and yet still we make mistakes. Brass things can sell really well. Some trivets can sell really well. This is very farmhousey. It was $1. I thought I'd take a chance on it. But it's been 10 months and I sold it for $6.74. I've brought my price down once, I think, and then I had it on sale for 25% off. So at least it's out of here now. Luckily, I'm gonna follow up that no-low with our best sale of the weekend, which is a lot of silver plated serving utensils. So we sold these for $62.50, and I paid like $13 for this and another set of flatware that service for $6, similar pattern, but I got them in an online auction, and I already sold the other flatware for $50. And then I got $62 for this. So not too bad on our $13 investment. Okay, let's talk about my Facebook Marketplace in-person sales from this weekend. I can't show them to you, but I can show them to you here. So I have these trivets. These trivets did not all sell. I had somebody that only wanted 5 of them and asked me if I would take $20 for them. Yeah, I had them listed long enough that they were on sale for 25% off. So on eBay, they were only $22.50 for all of them. So yeah, I'm going to take $20 for just 5 of them. And I've picked up a couple more of those style of trivets since I listed those. So I'm going to just relist the remaining trivets and add the new trivets to it and have a whole new listing. And I'll probably end up better off in the long run anyway. The other nice thing about this sale, I live out in a rural area. I'm not close to the larger metropolitan area. So many times when people want to do a Facebook Marketplace meetup with me, they want me to come to them. I'm not going to go out of my way. Lots of times people will come to me. I'll just tell them, you got to come here if you want it. But if I'm going to be in town and they can rearrange their schedule to accommodate my schedule, then I'll do it. So we were going out to dinner on Friday night, and I said, if you can meet me at this place at this time, then I'll bring him with me. And she could, and she did. And the fun thing about that was that I had another person, same thing. So they met us also. So I had 2 sales. Let me show you. The second sale was this. It's an oil pressure gauge, but it's new old stock. And some guy was, fixing up an old truck. Actually, it was an old Blazer, and thought this would be great for it. So we sold this to him for $15 cash, Facebook Marketplace, in-person pickup at my convenience. I like those kinds of deals. So the third local pickup sale I had was for these Hot Wheels cars. Now, this was not a fabulous sale, but Kyle had picked these cars up for $1 a piece at a garage sale because we know somebody that collects Hot Wheels, and he thought maybe that there might be some in there that he would like. So he was just trying to be nice, and the kid didn't want any of them at all. So now we're into these Hot Wheels for $13, and they're not really worth a whole lot, but we did get $22 for them in cash locally, so it all works out. All right, I did have one Facebook Marketplace sale that actually is being shipped down today, and that is this Sarah Coventry, which was Avon, and it's a brooch and matching earrings. It's really pretty. So in its original box, so we sold it for $18 plus shipping. And I picked this up at a auction early this year for $3. So I'm making $15 on it before fees. Let's do another jewelry sale. This was sold on Poshmark. It's a glass beaded necklace, Louis Fernard, and it was new, has its original box. And I picked this up at a garage sale for $1, and things weren't selling for me very well this weekend, so I got an offer of $12 on this, and I accepted it, and I will still make money because I only paid $1 for it. Jewelry, as I've mentioned in the past, moves kind of slowly for me online, but since it's so easy to store, it's small, I'll sit on this stuff for a while, and like I said, there's still plenty of money to be made there. I did have one other Poshmark sale this weekend. Isn't this pretty? So this is a Fenton piece, cabbage rose with the cute little butterfly on the top, frosted. And we found this at a thrift store. So I think I paid $4.50 plus tax on this one. And it sold for $22 on Poshmark. So we still will be making around $15. Okay, we're going to wrap up the sales, and then I'll talk about our Nashville experience. We're going to wrap them up with the 3 Etsy sales I have. And this one is a hand-painted stoneware crock, no lid, but I just thought it was kind of neat looking. And it's old stoneware, bottom's not so great. I just like the way it looked, so I picked it up at an auction. I only paid $2 for it, and it sold for $31.99 plus $5 shipping on Etsy. This is going to cost more than $5 to ship. This will probably cost me about $12, maybe $14 to ship, but still plenty of money left on the table on this one, and I'm glad somebody liked it. Okay, now these are those red, they're like the silk wrapped Christmas ornaments from the 70s. Whole box of them. For some reason, I sell these pretty regularly. And they aren't super fast sellers for me, but they always move. And so I keep buying them. This whole box sold for $29.99, and the $5 ship. Those will probably cost me, so let's see, that's $35, and these will probably cost me $12 to $15 to ship. But I only paid $2.50 for them. So, and these I only had listed for about 2 months. Listed these after Christmas. Christmas sells all year round. Did you know? This right here is the last sale. These are like cut glass, well, crystal actually. Bohemian crystal, I think. Brandy glasses. That's what they are. Brandy glasses. Hear that ring? So these beauties weren't for sale for too long. Just about 6 weeks, I think they were for sale. Sold them for $37.79. That was 10% off. They used a coupon. We only paid $3 for these in an online auction. So, not too bad. Good return on our investment on these. I'm happy. I'm happy with this sale. I'm happy with every sale. Okay, I'm happy with almost every sale. Some of the no-lows I never should have bought or sold. But I'm still happy. Now let's get down to talking about the reseller meetup we did in Nashville. It was so much fun. If you can hear my voice being a little scratchy, it's because I talked too much last weekend, I guess, and lost my voice for most of the week. Still a little scratchy, but it was totally worth it. Why would you want to go to a reseller meetup? We have been resellers for years and years. We weren't as heavily into it for a long time as we are now. It was more of a casual, on the side kind of gig. But then when we started being more serious about it, we found a whole world of resellers on YouTube that we didn't know about. So we went to our first meetup in 2022, hosted by Josh, Harry Tornado, and Caleb, Phoenix Resale. And it opened a whole new world to us and new connections with people. And we have made a lot of friends, turned a lot of online friends into actual friends that we keep in touch with on a regular basis outside of just social media. Why is that beneficial? Why is that helpful? Do you need to go to a meetup as a reseller? Yeah. No, but it is enjoyable. It's fun to be with people that understand the weirdness of being a reseller. So many people that I know around me, they're fine with what I do, but they don't get it. They don't understand why I do it or why I love it or why we like it. So when you have a chance to get together with people who you can relate to on that level, it's just a lot of fun. And there's a lot to be learned. We all do things differently. There are so many people that are in different niches of selling or sell in different places. We sell on eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, Etsy, Facebook Marketplace. For the most part, Depop a little bit, Whatnot a little bit. There were a lot of Whatnot sellers in Nashville, so that was fun too. But you can also sell on Amazon, you can sell on Walmart, you can do your own online auctions. There's just so many different ways of doing things, and one size does not fit all. What works for one person might not work for somebody else, but it's great to hear what everybody's doing. There was no specific learning sessions or activities in Nashville. It was not a educational reseller meetup, but it was educational. So let's just tell you about how it went in Nashville. Friday night, they had a meet and greet, and it was at a bar and grill, and there was an outside patio, and it was a lot of fun. There were almost 200 people, right around 200 resellers that came to that. Couldn't talk to everybody. Would have loved to have met more people, and hope to meet more people next year. But I think the highlight of the night at that meet and greet was the game show brought to us by I'd Flip That, Joe and Nicole. If you're not following them, you need to follow them. They are such a fun couple, and they have done numerous online game shows. They go live on YouTube. They haven't been doing that recently. I think they want to get back to it, but it's so much fun. And doing it live and in person was wonderful, and you want to be there next year because I bet you they do it again. They gave away great prizes. There were great prizes given away all weekend. We had amazing swag bags that night also, full of stickers, lots and lots of stickers. And if you don't know it, resellers don't hand out business cards, they hand out stickers. So get your stickers ready for next year too. Also in the swag bags was a bingo card. The bingo cards were full of things that you should find when you were out sourcing the next day. So Saturday morning, everybody got together however they wanted to get together. You could go alone, you could get a group to go, and you could go wherever you wanted. You could go to the bins, you could go to estate sales, you could go to garage sales, whatever, and find the things on this bingo card. Now, we did not need inventory. This trip was not about buying inventory. Never going to turn down the opportunity to buy inventory, but our focus became finding the things on the bingo card, and it was a lot of fun. So when we were done filling out our bingo card that morning, we took it back to where we were meeting for lunch. We turned them in for the possibility to win prizes. This bingo event was sponsored by SSK Promo, Ken and his girlfriend Jill. They did a fabulous job, and when they drew out the winning cards, they would make you show them one of the pictures. You had to take pictures of all the things you found to prove that you actually found those things. So if they drew your card, then they would want to see your pictures, or at least one of your pictures. A lot of fun. After we had lunch and did that, we went to the bins, one of the Goodwill outlets in Nashville, and it was crazy. Yes, we did take a lot of resellers. I don't know how many actually went to the bins of the 200 people that were there Friday, but there were a lot, and there were a lot of regulars there as well. So just masses of people. The worst experience as far as buying I've ever had at a Goodwill outlet. I spent $5, two of which was on a bottle of water. I'll still make some money though. It'll be okay. And I wasn't there for finding the goods. I was there for the friendship and the camaraderie. So it was all good. So then after that, later in the afternoon and evening, we went to a place called the Game Terminal in Nashville. And that was a lot of fun as well. Wait, am I sounding redundant? Was everything fun? Yeah, everything was fun. The Game Terminal had tons of arcade games. Some of them, like the pinball machines, you had to pay to play, but there were a ton of vintage video games, you know, Pac-Man, Galaga, Asteroids, whatever, tons of them that were free. You could play as much as you want. And then they had a whole outside venue too, patio area that had like shuffleboard and cornhole and different games and things you could do with tables and just places to congregate. After that, there was the option to go downtown to Broadway in Nashville. And last year when we went, a number of people did that. A large group of people did that. Some of us, older crowd, didn't really feel the need to go downtown to Nashville and went back to the hotel and hung out in the lobby. This year, I'm not sure. I think most people opted to come hang out in the lobby. We had quite the lobby party. The hotel staff was fabulous. They never complained about us at all. I mean, we were loud. We weren't overly obnoxious, I don't think. We weren't crazy. There wasn't any like drunken stuff going on like that. It was just a lot of fun. Just hanging out, talking, being chatty, playing games. Consignment Chats had a game. We were playing with them. One of the highlights was just the hanging out and talking. Sunday morning came and Ray had invited us. Ray is the host of the event, the Nashville Flippers. I think I forgot to mention that. So Ray of the Nashville Flippers invited everybody to go to his local church, Legacy Nashville. Very fun, energetic service. I think about 50 people went to that. And after that, we followed it up with lunch at a Mexican restaurant not too far from the church. And that was it. That was the end of the official event. So why would you want to go? Networking, learning. Even if it's not official learning, you're going to learn something, I guarantee it. And I'm going to just show you some highlights so that you can see how much fun we had And so you can make plans now to attend next year's Nashville Reseller Meetup in 2026. End of April, guys. Start thinking about it. All right, we're headed for Nashville. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got something from it. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it if you'd do that real quick. And I'd love to hear from you. And I hope to see you next year in Nashville, April 2026. Until next time, my friends, happy picking.